Om Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of the 11th of August 2022. Essence. Sweet children, in order to imbibe this spiritual study, your intellects have to become pure golden vessels. Have a Rakhi of purity tied, and you will receive a tilak of the kingdom. Question. What certificate, which all of you children claim from the Father at this time, do you have to make effort for? Answer. In order to go to the pure world, you need a certificate of purity, that is, of being worthy. When you make a promise of purity at this time, your intellects become golden-aged. The Father's advice for claiming a certificate of purity is, children, remove your intellect's yoga from everyone else and sit on the pyre of knowledge. Follow the one Mother and Father. Promise that you will definitely remain pure. Interact with the Father with honesty. Song. Brother of mine, fulfill the responsibility of the bond of Rakhi. Om Shanti. You children have heard this song many times. People have been celebrating the festival of Raksha Bandhan on the path of devotion and have also been singing this song. This is now the path of knowledge. The Father says to you children, children, by conquering Maya, Ravan, you will become conquerors of the world. That is, you will become the masters of the world. You children know that the effort lies in conquering the 5 vices. The vice of lust is the greatest enemy of those. There is upheaval and violence because of purity. Only the highest on high Father can enable you to conquer Maya and make you into the masters of the world. You children know that you definitely do have to become pure in order to claim your inheritance from the unlimited Father. A worldly study is also studied in purity, (celibacy). This is a spiritual study. Here a golden vessel, that is, a pure vessel, is needed in which the wealth of knowledge can be retained. It takes time to become pure because everyone's vessel has now become stone. The Father explains, you now have to become pure and return home. The more you continue to imbibe knowledge and yoga, the purer your intellects will continue to become, because your intellects are now aware that you have to return home. You have to go from the Iron Age to the Copper Age, then the Silver Age, and then the Golden Age. This study is such that, while you are moving along, Maya attacks you. Not everyone can remain pure. Maya creates many storms. While you are going from the Iron Age to the Copper Age, storms of Maya surround you, and your intellect thereby becomes iron-aged again, and you fall. you definitely fall and then climb up again. You climb and go to the Copper Age, then the Silver Age, and then the Golden Age. By studying and listening to knowledge, our intellects become golden-aged by the end. Then we leave our bodies. At this time, there is a lot of falling down and climbing up. It takes time. When your intellects become golden-aged, you become those who have a right to the kingdom. It is remembered that by having a Rakhi of purity tied, you receive a tilak of the kingdom. You children know that in order to attain a kingdom, you definitely do have to make a promise of purity. It takes such a long time to imbibe knowledge and yoga. It takes 5,000 years to go from the Golden Age to the end of the Iron Age. You now have to study, and that only takes place in this one birth. The higher your study, the more your happiness increases. We are establishing a kingdom with the power of our intellect's yoga and with the power of knowledge. There is the power of everything. By studying a little, you receive a little power, and by studying a lot more, you receive a lot more power. You attain a great status. It is the same here. By studying little, you receive a low status. The Father has explained, this Brahmin religion is very small. It is Brahmins who become the deities of the sun and moon dynasties. You are now making effort. You should understand that, as yet, you have just reached the Copper Age. You have to reach the Silver and Golden Ages. At the end, there will be many children. Everything depends on purity. The more you stay in remembrance, the more power you will receive. You have promised the Father that you will definitely remain pure and make Bharat pure. When you children go and tie Rakhis, you have to explain to them, we also came to tie this Rakhi for you to become pure from impure 5,000 years ago. The bond of Rakhi is not just a one-day thing, it will continue till the end. You continue to keep the promise and also continue to pay attention to your study. You know that by studying knowledge and yoga, you have to go from the Iron Age to the Golden Age. You have to become Sato Pradhan from Tamo Pradhan. A new person would not be able to understand these things. This is why your bhati (furnace) of 7 days is very well known. You first have to feel their pulse. Until they receive the Father's introduction and have faith in him, they won't understand anything. They will continue to receive the introduction through you. The tree will continue to grow. It takes time for self-sovereignty to be established. The world cannot be destroyed until you reach the Golden Age (stage). The time will come when there will be many children. Now you are to go to the important people at the time of Raksha Bandhan. You have to explain to them too. The Purifier Father only comes at the confluence age to make this impure world pure. Bharat truly was pure, and it is now impure. The great Mahabharat war is just ahead. God the Father says, "Children, Maya, Ravan is your great enemy. Those others are small physical enemies. The greatest enemy of Bharat is Ravan. This is why the Rakhi of purity has to be tied. You have to promise, 'Oh Baba, we will remain pure in order to make Bharat elevated. We will also continue to make others that.' Everyone has now been defeated by Ravan. They continue to burn an effigy of Ravan in Bharat alone. The kingdom of Ravan has continued for half a cycle. You have to explain this. It is no use tying Rakhis on them without explaining anything. Only you know this story. No one else would say, 5,000 years ago too, the Father said, if you become pure, you will claim the status of Narayan in the Golden Age from that of an ordinary man. Only you can relate the story of the true Narayan and the story of the Lord of Immortality. You have to explain that Bharat was pure. It was the golden sparrow. It is now impure. It would now be called the iron sparrow. Give them the Father's introduction and ask them, if they believe it, the Father truly gives you an inheritance through Brahma. The Father says, now remember me. Your 84 births are now coming to an end. You have been defeated by Maya. You now have to conquer Maya once again. Only the Father comes and tells you, children, now become pure. Children say, yes, Baba, we will definitely become your helpers. We will definitely become pure and make Bharat pure. Tell them, we have not come to take money from you. We have come to give the Father's introduction. All of you are the Father's equals, are you not? The Father comes and gives a message. He advises, O children, remove everyone else from your intellects. You came bodiless. You first played your parts in heaven. You were beautiful. That is, you were pure. Then, by sitting on the pyre of lust, you became ugly. Bharat was golden-aged. Bharat is now said to be iron-aged. You now have to come off the pyre of lust and sit on the pyre of knowledge. The Father says, constantly remember me alone. Make a promise of purity. We are brothers and sisters, children of the one Father. You too are His children, but you don't consider yourselves to be that. Only when you become a BK can you claim your inheritance from Shiv Baba. This is a world of impure and corrupt ones. There isn't a single elevated being. In the Golden Age, there isn't a single corrupt being. This is a matter of the unlimited. To establish the whole elevated world is the task of the Father alone. We Brahma Kumars and Kumaris claim our inheritance from the Father. We make a promise of purity. We make an album of photographs of those who guarantee to remain pure. You cannot receive a certificate to go to the pure world unless you become pure. Only the Father comes and makes you worthy and gives you a certificate. The purifier of all, the bestower of salvation, is only the one Father. Impure ones are not worthy. Bharat has become insolvent and unhappy because it is impure. In the Golden Age, Bharat was pure and it was happy. The Father says, "Now become pure." Issue this ordinance. Those who wish to become pure should not be stripped. Men cause a lot of trouble because of vice. This is why women are unable to help make Bharat elevated. A probe should be created about this. However, as yet, you children haven't developed that strength. When you reach the golden stage, you will have the sparkle of being able to explain to someone. Day by day, you children continue to receive many points. You children understand that this is a steep climb. You have to follow the Mother and Father. You do say, Mother and Father. That one is the Father, and so this one is the Mother. However, because he is a male, the urn is given to the mothers. You too are mothers. Men are brothers. Brothers inspire sisters, and sisters inspire brothers to make a promise of purity. Mothers are made to go ahead. Those people also uplift women. In earlier days, they never had female presidents or prime ministers. Previously, it used to be kingdoms of kings. In earlier days, when a new invention was created, they would go and tell the king about it. He would then give directions for its manufacture to be increased. Here it is rule of the people by the people. Some believe and others do not. You have to make effort. You know how they have made a big mistake by putting Sri Krishna's name in the Gita. One person might accept what we tell people, and another one would not. As you make progress, you will receive strength. The soul says, I want to go to the Golden Age. Now that the locks on your intellects have opened, you can understand knowledge very well. Eventually, everyone will definitely understand. Innocent ones are being assaulted. It says in a scripture that Draupadi was stripped. Therefore, at that time, what else can you do except to stay in remembrance? If you remember Shiv Baba internally, you won't accumulate that sin. You are under the influence of others. Yes, you do have to try to save yourself. The karmic bondage of each one is different. Some even beat their wives, so it is understood that she will claim a good status there. What can she do? The Father tells you very good ways to remain pure. Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris are brothers and sisters, so there cannot be any vision of vice. The Father says, if you break this promise, you will be hurt a great deal. The intellect also says, if you don't listen to the unlimited Father, you will fall and be hurt. If you repeatedly continue to fall, you will be defeated. This is boxing. All of these things are incognito. Here the main things are purity and this study. There isn't any other study. There is a lot of business on the path of devotion. Devotees do devotion and also say that God is in every particle. You have now received knowledge. Previously, you too used to say that God was omnipresent. Wherever I look, I only see you. All of this is part of God's game. God is playing this game, having adopted different forms. Okay, what games would he play by being in every particle? They defame the unlimited Father. That too is a game, which is why the Father has to come. You children should be happy. You receive the Father's direction. If you want to go to the pure world, you do have to become pure. Don't think that you will go to heaven anyway. What status would you then claim? That is not effort. In order to become kings and queens, you do have to make some effort. No one understands the secrets of the drama. You now know that you claim your inheritance from the Father every cycle when Baba comes. Look how beautiful the pictures that have been made are. Take people in front of the big pictures. All of you are surgeons, and Shiv Baba is the eternal golden surgeon. You too are surgeons, number-wise. As yet, no one has become completely golden-aged. You have to do service. At the time you explain, feel each one's pulse. Those who are Maharatis would be able to feel the pulse very well. You have to become completely golden-aged. You have not become that yet. It takes time to become that. The storms of Maya harass you a great deal. All of these things have to be understood. You have to claim your full inheritance from the Father by interacting with him with great honesty. There shouldn't be anything bad inside you. Maya harasses you because you are not having yoga. Acha? To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence Vedana. 1. You have made a promise to the Father, so you mustn't break that promise. Make the soul golden aged with purity and by studying. 2. Remove everyone else from your intellect and practice becoming bodiless. Gain victory over the storms of Maya with the power of yoga. Blessing. May you be free of all waste and become equal to the Father by considering yourself to be an instrument for world benefit. Just as the Father is the world benefactor, in the same way, you children are also instruments for world benefit. The atmosphere has to be transformed by the attitude of you instrument souls. As are your thoughts, so will be your attitude, and this is why souls who are instruments for world benefit cannot waste their thoughts or attitude for even a second. No matter what the situation may be, what a person may be like, your own feelings and attitudes must be of benevolence. Have good wishes even for those who defame you. You will then be said to be free from waste, the same as the Father. Slogan. With the power of cooperation, even the impossible becomes possible. Om Shanti.